places.
We just celebrated our 100th podcast. So.
Okay, so we are talking to the folks. Tell them we're going to get started.
All right, so we're talking to the folks. Tell them we're going to get started. You do it this time.
Folks, we're getting started. So we have the privilege of being at the Allegheny Inn, which is one of our stomping grounds, so to speak, because Robert, the Pittsburgh downtown concierge, is one of our dear friends and a friend of the podcast, and he's lending us his home with 2 fabulous fireplaces because this is indeed our fabulous fireplace tour, thanks to our friend Bob Hupnagel from Suburban Floors, right? We better get that in there. Yeah. He can't be here right now, but he's a fantastic guy. They make house calls. They come see what you need as far as hardwood flooring, carpeting, ceramic tile, whatever your needs are, and they come kind of take care of all your flooring.
The cool thing is Bob and I play hockey together, so I've seen him naked. So in the locker room. And I could say stockings and garter belts, but then you'd, those are hockey equipment things. All right, so we are here recording the podcast here, and we're at the Allegheny Inn, and our guests right now are the guys from GeekWire. Some of the folks from GeekWire. Yeah.
To have them here. They're like real journalists like me.
So you have to know this. There's an investigative reporter in town. His name is Andy Sheehan. And Rachel is like, we call her Andy Jr. because she never can just take an answer. It's why? So we had Andy on one previous podcast here. So be prepared for some very difficult questions from Rachel. So anyway, so let's go through we have so many things to talk about. We have Kurt, we have Nat, and we have Taylor from Seattle area from GeekWire.com. So give a round of applause for that area. Yeah. Once again, standing room only here at the podcast.
Oh my gosh, I can't. It's a sea of people. I can't even
packed.
see over
What's
them.
What's the fire code here, Robert?
Right?
We're going to probably just go out there and let them hold us up on their hands, right? We're going to just dive.
Body surfing. It's called body surfing. That's what we're going to do. So you're the youngest Pittsburgh, yeah.
Attempted to live here at one point.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, my brother lived here for 8 years. Went to the Art Institute back in the 90s, early 90s. So one summer between semesters at school, I went to school in Western New York, where I grew up. I thought, I'm going to live with you this summer, and I came down. Lived with him on the north side, not far from here, probably.
Okay. Yeah.
Looked for a job for a little while. We went to a party. Remember Rusted Root?
Oh, yes.
I think there was a keg. Of
course, we did a keg stand.
We were on bikes.
Yeah.
We were coming back down Squirrel Hill. A very large tree jumped in front of me.
I hate when that happens.
And I went back to Rochester with a broken collarbone.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yeah, I was
but
like,
you came back to Pittsburgh.
I'm not gonna lay on your couch for the summer. I'm gonna go home and be taken care of by mom.
Oh, so. Smart move. Yeah, there you go.
But that was like 94, I think, was the last time I was here. So.
Okay, and how much has it changed? Tremendous shock, because no one thought that Pittsburgh was ever going to be known as a foodie town or an artsy town. Like, we're getting there. Music is having a resurgence, and it's not just about our Steelers anymore. You know, so that's what we're super proud of. So that's our part. So we kind of want to hear from you guys about what you think. So you're done with your one day. So who's been here for a week? Okay,
that's me.
Okay, Nat. So you're the new dad.
Yes, I'm a new dad. 1-year-old.
Aw, Hannah. Aww. So tell us, in 7 days' time, what have you learned? What are the good parts of Pittsburgh?
Well, I always start with the food. That's always my first litmus test of everywhere I go. I'm like, does this place have a good sandwich shop? Can I?
Do we?
Yes.
Oh, good. What is it?
Well, there's plenty of them. Just down the street from us is a little bakery, La Gourmand, right? Gorman.
Oh, love it.
And
bakery,
yeah, that has a great croissant, great sandwich. Eat there all the time. So that's always the first impression for me is how is the food.
So Taylor, you've been here almost a month.
Yeah,
right?
I live here now.
Yeah, that's awesome. What's your kind of impression of Pittsburgh at this point?
Well, first we should maybe explain why the heck we're even here in
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
right, because that's why. Yes, go ahead.
So GeekWire, we're based in Seattle. We've founded in 2011, where we cover technology and innovation out of the Pacific Northwest. And as you may know, Amazon announced their HQ2 announcement, and we're having a couple beers, and we're like, well,
and Pittsburgh got it.
Long story short, yeah. Yeah, long story short, yeah, Pittsburgh got it. And so, yeah, we did our own little HQ2. We were going to bring 1 to 3 jobs to a chosen North American city and really change things up. But we had 10 or more cities apply for our RFP that we put out, and we wanted to basically do what we do in Seattle, which is cover the people, the companies that are causing change, causing impact through technology and innovation. So we had 4 finalists: Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Raleigh, and Denver, and Pittsburgh won out, and I can safely say that we're very happy that Pittsburgh was the choice, and we've learned a lot, and we've taken things from Seattle and shared some ideas here, and we'll take some back as well.
That's pretty. I honestly didn't realize that. I don't know if everyone else did. We knew we were in the 8 contender, spot. So this is kind of breaking news. Wow, on the Jagoff podcast. Like, where else is that going to happen?
The cool thing is that as well as we do, that there's so much innovation here with the robotics and things like that here, and Kathleen Conaway represents the kind of it. She works at the Carnegie Mellon University, one of the greatest places here, and you could see the innovation here tonight at the podcast. You saw she made Jagoff brownies, as a matter of fact.
That was impressive.
If that's not innovation, Kurt, what is it, right?
That's high tech right there.
That's high tech. So, I mean, as far as what do you have categories that you're looking at while you're here? Is that basically are you investigating? Are you like undercover bosses?
We're not Amazon spies. We're not Amazon
you're not spies.
We've been accused of that.
That's good.
We've been accused of that. We've been accused of being Pedutos. We're not paid off by Peduto.
Okay.
We're independent journalists, covering what's happening here. So we do have things that we've come here that we've heard about just from reading stories, robotics, AI, CMU, Pitt, the food, all of that.
Fish fries.
Fish fries,
oh,
yeah.
Lent,
yeah.
Perfect time to be here, right?
Matt and I just had our first fish fry experience last night. That was a lot of fun.
Where did you go for your fish fry?
We went to the Immaculate Heart of Mary Church.
Love that church, Frank. I love that church. It's gorgeous. Did you make 3 wishes?
We did not. We should have.
So listen, do this. When you go to go to St. Paul's Cathedral, and you can go in there, and it is your right, because I'm Catholic, and I can tell you, you can walk in, genuflect, and make 3 wishes.
Okay.
Done.
So no, next time.
Yeah.
There
we
you
did
go.
get to see the church, and the pastor. We met the pastor down in the basement where the fish fry was going on. And he took us up to the church, turned on the lights for us, and that was just one small example of kind of the charm here that we don't really see that much in Seattle anymore. Just kind of welcoming us. They don't know who we are or where we're from. It doesn't really matter. It's just like, hey, let's be your friend. Let's be welcoming. And that was just a good example of that.
And that was going to be one of my questions, and you heard it from the fellows who were from the aviary. Pittsburgh is well known for being that big town kind of small town thing. Is that what you're feeling? Is that true? Because we feel it from living here, but being outsiders and coming in, is that what you see?
Yeah, I think Kurt's only been here for less than a day.
24 hours?
He's already noticed that too, right?
Really?
Yeah, for sure. That's a big part of the attraction, and the 3 people that have cycled through already have come back to Seattle, and I was in the offices for this beginning of this month, and they're all just they have this look in their eyes like, I can't believe I just spent a week or 2 weeks actually engaging with people. Like, they wanted to talk, and they wanted to talk a lot, and that's a very interesting thing in Seattle. Seattle's well known for what's called the Seattle Freeze. I won't say nobody. A lot of people are not from Seattle. It's a tough place to get to, and its resurgence and its growth is a relatively new thing. And the people who are there are kind of isolated, and it has this rainy climate. And I'm not going out there, but it takes a long time to grow on you. Pittsburgh. At the bar last night, I was meeting people within the first beer order.
And you knew their life story, right?
Yeah, and I know a little bit of that from.
How you doing? How you doing? I love you, man.
You like the Stillers?
I did have a Pirates hat on, but I'm not sure that had anything to do with it.
Yeah.
People are down on the Pirates right now. The McCutcheon trade.
Yeah. Just go ahead. Throw salt in the wound. Yeah, go ahead.
We talking sports? I don't know. It's a beautiful ballpark y'all built, but.
Well, I think it's cool that some of the articles you've written some pretty balanced articles where, the airport, one person came in and said, wow, this place is dead. Another person comes in and said, wow, it's kind of hopping. And, I think that's it. And I think one of the articles I read somewhere, that's the fear you're kind of putting in Pittsburgh. Do we really want this? Because it changed Seattle so much, and are we going to lose that Pittsburgh style, right, Ned?
Yeah, I mean, when Amazon comes to your town, what Seattle has learned is that everything changes. It might be for the better, it might be for the worse, and I think the difference is kind of planning for that and knowing that something is coming and deciding this is what we want to be, this is where we want our policy and our culture to go, and having that idea in place so that you don't just get steamrolled if someone new comes to town.
Yeah, and go ahead, Taylor.
It's been fascinating being here, and our first day here, we drove through the Hill District, and we asked people, "Do you want Amazon here?" And the majority of people said, yeah, we want jobs, we want change, we want something else new. And I've been sitting through some of these Amazon HQ2 community meetings where the feeling is different. It's, we don't want Amazon here. We've been living here for 40 years. We've lived through the ups and downs. When Amazon comes, we're going to be pushed out. And so it's this really interesting balance of, when a company does come like that, what happens, who's responsible for preparing for that, and what should happen to the people that have, been here for a long time. Because as we've seen in Seattle, people are getting pushed out. You're getting priced out. The median home price is $750,000. Like, wow. Amazon's gone from 5,000 employees in the downtown core to 50,000 in less than a decade. So these are serious questions that Pittsburgh needs to ask of itself before, we met with Peduto, and he was like, 50,000 jobs is going to be great, but we're like, actually you should understand, be careful what you wish for. And Kurt wrote a great column when the HQ2 stuff was happening, was, we've seen it happen, be careful what you wish for,
And I think that's the mainstream thought, is that, this is, job driven, which is a great thing. But we've actually had the opportunity in the last couple of months to speak with some millennials, which we're not, in case, I don't know if you knew, we're not millennials. And they've explained, we were just at an expo, and they explained just their take on things. And I think that's a lot where the differences lie, because if you were to speak to, we used to be known as the senior citizen hub, right? We were the lottery town. And now we are the place to retire versus Miami. I've spoken of that before. But yet we're also having this surgence of millennials who are either leaving and boomeranging, coming back, obviously, or they're staying here for that reason. So I think, are you noticing the age proximity playing a part in that?
The age thing is interesting. Like, if you look at Pittsburgh's population over the last few decades, it's like this and like this and like this, right? And there's only 300,000. It's still it's still a small town.
It is, yes.
And so I think that's actually one thing that, from Amazon's perspective, why they wouldn't come here, because I don't think there's enough density just of people and talent. There's CMU and Pitt, but there's just not that core. But
okay, enough with Taylor. Next.
See you later.
I like Pittsburgh. I like Pittsburgh a lot. I like Pittsburgh. But you're right. To your point, like, I keep telling people, I would live here. I wouldn't move here. Like, I really would. And I'm 27, and the food here is cool. People are cool. The weather, I'm not from the Northwest. I don't mind the weather. The summers here I've heard of, but I don't know why we came in February. Probably should have came.
I'd move here now. I wouldn't move here if Amazon did.
Yeah. Really?
No.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay, so, go ahead. No,
I've been there. I moved to Seattle in 1996. Amazon was a 1-year-old online bookstore company.
Yes.
And 22 years later, they essentially sell you everything.
Yeah.
They are everything. And in Seattle, they feel like everything. And whether you blame Seattle's traffic on Amazon, or the cost of housing, or everything related to homelessness, it all falls on them because they're so big, and they've become so big so fast. And it's not fair to them, because a lot of it trickles down and creates jobs in other areas. But these are big issues for a small town like Pittsburgh, and it would be like a brick falling on this place.
That's interesting. And so I guess my thing is, isn't that the way of the world, though? Not to take away from Amazon. I feel like as a 40-something mother, you see that, wow, this change it hits you in the face, and you either deal with it or you don't, right? So is it one of those things where, sink or swim, right? Or is it prepare and real, like you guys are saying, hey, caution, get ready.
How do you say sink or swim to a teacher who makes $45,000 a year, or a firefighter,
correct,
or a janitor, or a high school gym teacher, whatever, and you've got all of a sudden 24 to 30-year-olds making six figures, and they're buying out every house in your neighborhood.
Right. I hear you. Yeah. Wow, that's a really good point. You got serious on us, guys.
I
don't know what to say.
So how does how does this fit into the normal GeekWire, reporting? Because I think it's really fascinating that we hear a lot of bad news in Pittsburgh, like taking this up to the 100,000-foot level. Reporters are losing their jobs. The local papers are losing their jobs. But you guys are journalists, and you're 27 years old, so you are journalists that are working. And so it might not be the local newspaper, but tell me about how GeekWire functions and the journalistic respect that you guys have online.
Sure. Well, thanks for that, and appreciate that. And
what's up, Rich?
For us, our bread and butter is the journalism and the truth telling. And on the business side, we do 10 to 12 events per year in Seattle. So community, it's kind of a cliche thing to say, but community is kind of one of the bedrocks of GeekWire. We bring people together. We do everything from the GeekWire Bash coming up next month. It's 2,000 people, ping pong, dodgeball, let's have a good time, to the GeekWire Summit in October, where we bring in people like the Microsoft CEO, the Starbucks CEO, and have 1,000 people be inspired by these business conversations and leadership lessons. So, and we also, that's part of our business too. We sell tickets, we sell sponsorships, so that's how we fund the business, but there has still always been a very clear line between editorial and advertising. And so luckily for us, we're able to just focus on the journalism and tell the news, whether it's good or bad. We want to report on the truth, and we've built that relationship with our readers, and there's that trust there. And so we've kind of just grown that and done it in Seattle, and we're like, hey, can we go to another city that's growing and is unsure of how tech is going to impact the city? Can we go there and talk to the people and report on it? And so that's partly why we're here, and it's been a hell of a time.
And we're learning a couple lessons ourselves.
Well,
we're getting ready for that.
Yeah, but my question is, did you pitch this? So did you guys come together and pitch it as an idea, or was that brought to you as kind of the people to come scout it?
The RFP, the request for proposals, was on our website, and it started as a gimmick, like, hey, Amazon put out theirs, and they got 250 North American cities to reply.
Right.
And then we were like, let's do that too, and we'll write it kind of campy and say that we'll bring like $10,000 worth of revenue to your city with our reporting. And then we got 10 replies, and it turned serious, and it was like, well, let's look at these cities and where do we really want to go, and what would be this cool experiment. And Taylor's been to other towns where we've done this, but not in an HQ2 sense, but sort of checking out their startup scene, and yeah, it wasn't a lot of planning. This was like 3 months ago, maybe before the holidays. We came up with this idea.
We're a startup too. Like this idea was over a bunch of beers. Just like, hey, let's do this thing. Yeah.
So we sent the one single guy to spend the money.
Yeah. Well, and that's I'm not trying to be funny, but I really was a reporter, and it's changed so much. I worked we were a 2-newspaper town for a lot of years, and only in the last year, as you might know, the Pittsburgh Tribune Review is no longer. And it was interesting to be able to see such a staunch Democratic city as Pittsburgh have a Republican newspaper that kind of showed the other side. And we were fortunate because that wasn't something that happened. And as a former journalist, I see the way journalism is conveyed now, and it's a little bit disappointing. So I love to see your vigor. I love to see the fact that this was something you thought would be a good idea, and it's kind of changing a whole society.
Yeah. And you found a way to get paid for it, right? You know what I mean? I mean, we know there's certainly great journalists out there, but they're not getting paid. So let's lighten the load here, right?
You get paid,
right?
I don't know.
Well, you got paid. You got paid in hot sausage tonight, right? Yeah.
Does beer count as payment?
Give a round of applause for Ernie Ritchie's hot sausage here. What do you guys think of that? Did you guys have some hot sausage?
It was great.
Yeah. It
was good.
Awesome.
Cool. All right, so listen, we want to lighten the load here. You know that, Kurt, you just got here, but you lived here, so you kind of tipped us off there. We want to know what you know about Pittsburghese. Okay, so we're going to do a little game show here and see who can win. So we're a podcast that doesn't make any money. So what we couldn't afford buzzers, right? So we need to know.
I said, go get kazoos. Do you guys know what kazoos are?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Like you blow into it? Okay.
How about that soundbite? Rachel's
pretty good,
kazoo. Yeah. All right. So, but I ran out of time, so we didn't get kazoos. So we need to know what each of your buzzers would sound like. So, Kurt, in a game show, what would your buzzer sound like?
It's like this. Yeah, like it's there.
Pens.
All right, pens. All right, Nad.
Well, I'll just honk because I'm an aggressive driver.
All right, you and me, brother. Yeah, and Taylor.
I'll beep.
All right, cool. All right. So here's the first question. In Pittsburghese, what is a haas?
Pens.
Oh,
House.
Very good.
yeah, very good. Did you have the same?
I had house, yeah.
It was
You
a
got
little
buzz.
bit easy.
You got a buzz, buddy.
I buzz right as you buzz.
Oh, you went honk. I thought
We're
you
very
said house.
competitive
Honk
here,
is
so
my buzz, man.
You have to be aggressive. You
you
can't
can't
just sit
say
back.
honk.
Yeah.
I'll just take his
You need to get in
microphone
there,
away.
brother.
You gotta go honk.
I don't speak improperly, so I have to really think about it.
Whoa, humble brag.
I was a journalist.
Does that mean you're supposed to speak properly?
Yes.
Oh.
Apparently. Okay, I have.
Well, I missed that
All right.
one.
So when you're speaking in multiples, you say, "I want another one in Nat."
Honk, honk.
Yeah.
And that.
Very good. Very good.
'Cause my name is Nat, so I had to find that out
I was
immediately.
looking at you and nudging you like,
I
come on.
saw a store and I saw like Christmas and Nat,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh my god, I need to know what this means immediately.
And then were you like, no? No, that is not good.
No, I was happy with it. My name's on a sign. I'll take it.
All right. So, Taylor, it's 1-1-0. All right? No pressure. No pressure. G-Chat.
Oh, yeah. Beep, bop, beep.
Yep.
Whatever the
Go
fuck.
ahead. Go ahead, Taylor. Yeah.
Yeah, did you eat? Yeah, G-Chat. That's my favorite one.
He's
Very
been saying
good.
that all week.
I've been saying that all week, yeah.
I wasn't going to dare to buzz in, even though I knew it.
And a follow-up question. Squeak. Squeak.
Sounds like an animal noise.
Squirt yet?
Come on. You guys from the aviary going, that's us. No,
Squeak.
no.
Squeak?
Squeak.
Squeak.
Little help from the peanut gallery?
Anybody? Come on. Ready?
Let's go eat.
G-Chat. No. Jew. Squeet.
Let's go eat.
Let's go eat.
Yeah.
That's a tough
Sweet.
one.
You have one?
I don't know. Oh, yeah. Okay, wait, Marlene, if you want to come over, you can come over. Come on. Okay.
Never mind.
I don't know.
right.
Fallon?
Beep,
What was it? Can you
beep.
say it a little louder?
Fallon. Foul it.
Pens.
Yeah.
File it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I
Wow.
thought, but I thought I'd be wrong.
It's way too easy.
Towel.
Towel.
Yes. And John and I specifically will say towel because we hate that. And we have a store called, are you ready? John Eagle.
John Eagle, yeah. John Eagle.
Yep.
All right. So one last question because I think we're 1-1 at this point, right? No.
someone just said
Yeah, he's two.
two.
Yeah, Kurt is two. All right. So we need a good one here.
Kurt win.
All right. Yeah. So this is a word that says as a location downtown.
Honk honk.
Oh, there you go.
Downtown.
Yeah, downtown. There it is. All right. So now it's 2-2-1. Sorry, but we do have prizes for everybody because everybody gets a trophy, right? Aww. Yeah. So and before we let you go, because we have brownies that say the word, we have T-shirts for you that say the word. We have to educate you about the word Jagoff. Kurt, what do you know about the word Jagoff?
I've heard my brother say it plenty.
Okay.
His wife is from East Liberty.
Sliberty.
She's from Sliberty.
Sliberty.
She says it pretty regularly after a third glass of wine. Jagoff.
Jagoff, you said it so
Yeah.
that's what we want to do is have you guys say it the proper way.
Yeah. So, and Ned, what do you know about the word Jagoff?
I know it makes me giggle every time someone says it. That's what I got.
I love it.
And Taylor?
It's my favorite Pittsburgh. I'm bringing it back to Seattle.
More than
Are you really?
More than
Okay.
Jeet
Yeah.
That's tough. Gee,
That sounds like
And you can think of us, and you
Exactly.
met two Jagoffs, and there's nothing wrong with saying that.
So, it's in the dictionary now. We did a big thing a couple of years ago to try to get into the dictionary. We raised some money for a foundation. But fact is, if you really want to know how the word Jagoff is used, it's, you're right. You're crossing the bridge. Someone cuts you off. You jag off, right? Or you're at a haunted house and someone scares the crap out of you. You go, you jag off, But it's also a term of endearment. Like, if I haven't seen you, Kurt, forever, Kurt, you're back in Pittsburgh? How you doing, you jag off? When I see you with your Jack Lambert shirt tucked in your jeans on Sunday. So, yeah. So
It's versatile.
Yeah, so it's three definitions of the word jagoff. But we can't thank you guys enough for spending time with us here at the Allegheny Inn. And tell everybody where they find all of you guys. And we'll put the links on the show notes.
GeekWire.com, and just thanks for having us. I mean, this is another good example of just welcoming the Pittsburgh charm, the warmth. Not to say Seattle's not like that sometimes, but just the people here and the place where the bed and breakfast. It's just like this is a great example of what we've been experiencing
Thank
here.
you.
Yeah, the grass is always greener. We love Seattle. The grass is browner at this time of the year in
Yes.
Pittsburgh.
Right.
Or white tonight. It's snowing. But
Yeah.
thanks very much. It's wonderful.
Yeah, we're thrilled to have you.
Thanks for having us.
Aw. J. Roger Davis is next.
Cool.
That was perfect.
Thank you.
We need a picture. We need a picture.
Wait, I shouldn't shake any hands. Sorry. I didn't.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry. If I pass along your
I'm the one with 3
Shake your hand.
signatures.
Yep,
Sorry. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, if you guys want to hang, we're just going to interview Jay Roger. If you need to go, let us know.
Yeah, we'll listen to that.